So, here we are, once more back at Elbrook Sanatorium. This crumbling red brick building that stands atop the cliffs a few miles outside Brighton. The wind whistles around the walls and rattles at half-rotten shutters. Outside we see parked up a couple of vehicles. A car that brought people here, another tucked away in the nettles around the outside of the wall. Over the sea, the sun is setting, and shadows stretch along around the building. Upstairs, in one of the offices that was once belonged to a prestigious and now murdered doctor, a group of individuals are sat drinking tea. We look around the room, we see the Detective Basil Bloom with sat there sort of clutching a cup of tea, sort of staring into it with a 1,000-yard stare. His mind a little unsettled by what he's witnessed downstairs. He follows them upstairs and now seems unsure of what to do. Frozen. Yeah, for the moment. In indecision. Next to him sits Pavel Nordstrom, the Swedish-Polish inventor extraordinaire, who is sort of twitching on the edge of his seat. He is his machine has worked. It has done something. It has done something marvelous. Something even he could not imagine. Like he's sloshed tea all over like the tabletop in front of him. Is like waving his hands around excitedly as he's like going over what just happened downstairs once more. Did you see that?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, across from him sits his assistant, apprentice, minder, Avery Collins. A genius in his own right. The man who got this machine working. Next to him sit two members of the London Esoteric Society. Dr. Pendergast, this man of indeterminate age, somewhere between 50, 60, maybe older. It's really quite hard to tell. With glasses pushed up his nose, hair peppered with white. And beside him, the young Miss Ward. A neatly, smartly dressed woman with a topaz necklace, neatly tailored dress, elegantly sipping her tea. Yes. Well, it worked. Better than we could expect, really. But we've still only caught shadows and glimpses. I think we can push it further.
So you're interested in the time part, not in the energy part of the whole thing.
Yes. When we first heard rumours of Mr. Nordstrom's invention, everyone was talking about the energy part, but once we spoke to your friend Mr. White, and then to Nordstrom himself, we began to realise that was only scraping the surface of what was possible with this. If your machine was capable of opening gates in space to such far and distant depths of places unreached, then it could open gates in time itself.
I mean, yeah, they're the same thing, right?
Well, I'm no physicist, but yes,
I think that's the stuff that I read a paper recently.
Yes, Mr. Einstein's work, all that time and space and all that. But,
so we'll probably not going to be able to separate the energy production from the time travel bit, right? Because it would be really inconvenient if you try to, make energy and you get end up a decade earlier or wherever. and if you try to travel time, if you blow it up accidentally, it would be good if we could separate the two somehow.
You need the energy to open the gates in through time, I think. I mean, we do not know that the first time you opened the gate, you didn't open through that through time as well as space. But that gate was perhaps a little large and crude and drew some dangerous attention. This, perhaps a smaller, subtler, more controlled approach will allow us to open. She pauses for a moment, her eyes sort of staring off into the distance. We may have a problem with your companions.
Why?
I believe they're trying to sabotage the device.
I'm going to build a new one.
You speak as though it's easy. Like Pavel leans forward, like, that took a lot of work, Avery.
I mean,
we've been
yeah,
working on that for like
but now that we know that it works,
2 years.
It's just work.
Yes.
No trial and error required anymore.
They could still be a problem. Like, I get the sense that they don't entirely trust us.
I mean, fair. We're talking about, messing with energy and time. That's not something,
messing with makes it sound like we are amateurs.
I mean, it's something at the cutting edge of science, right? So therefore, obviously, we are messing with, because that's how the scientific method works.
I suppose, yes. You are the scientist here, the engineer. I try to keep up with the science of the times, but
you can always only know like one area.
Things move so fast sometimes.
So you're interested in the time parts. Is there a specific time that you want to know about, that you want to go to, or you want to look into?
Well, I am more interested in the times in the past. Going back, there are things of interest and things I would like to see.
As long as we're not able to cross, because if we were able to cross, that would open a whole can of worms.
Well, that does raise the question of what happens if one changes the past. Which is why I have suggested we do not mess with the past, Pendergast. The future. The future is surely where it lies. Think of how much mankind has achieved in the last 100 years, how far we've come. People of 1807 would barely believe any of what's possible here around us. Could you imagine what a world 100 years from now might look like? Were we to open a gate and step through and see the next millennium of human existence, what they might have been capable of, what they might have achieved?
I mean, as long as we don't...
Who could resist that?
As long as nothing too bad happens, probably marvelous stuff.
The wonders one could see. And
well, I would assume
with the knowledge of the future brought into the now.
I would assume that we've just heard pieces of the past, right? So I would assume that, you can't really go back, but just watch and listen in, maybe?
Maybe.
Because the past would, stay as is while we can listen in. If you, and that would be, marvelous if we could just listen in on Alexander the Great, or I don't know. See what happened.
That would be a wonder. I've always... Yes, never had... Never been one for antiquities.
This is the first person I thought about. He was in a museum a week ago.
Ah, yes, well. Yes, we should... Miss Ward, are they still downstairs? No, I think they're heading up this way. Mr. Collins, we might have a problem with those two. We need to convince them that this is not madness. Talking, that this is... You can see the potential of this, right? And
Yeah. What we need to make sure is that we're taking as many precautions as we feasibly can, right? Because that's all you can do, and then you have to try.
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna try anyway. Why not us?
That is a very good point. We have the knowledge and experience that few others have. Look, people have played with these manner of things before. We don't know that we're the first. My family made their wealth off the treasures of another world. A secret that was kept for generations. Lost for generations, even. If it hadn't been for my uncle stumbling back through that, we might never have known what our family had achieved, or what we did. There is so much... A world that lay beyond our own. The slithers and cracks in reality that opened up in the very house I grew up in. And I didn't know. I walked past it every day of my childhood unknowing. And then learned the truth. The truth of what there is out there, and who knows how many other families have done similar, how many other secrets there are out there of what people have achieved by not being afraid to use what knowledge there is out there. When you have this knowledge, surely it is your duty to apply it the best you can. Not just for your own gain, but the betterment of humankind. If we could find the solutions of the future and bring them to the now, think of the good we could do with it.
Well, I mean, yes, 100%, but also I'm not sure if we could implement them. I mean, try to build like a steam engine with stone tools, you know? We might just miss the technology to make the technology work that we would want, if you know what I mean. But that's a future problem. Let's go.
But yes, we need... Yes. Let's not forget, like Pavel leans in, let's not forget the power aspect, which I do think you're overlooking in the...
Fair.
Like, I'm not quite following all this time stuff, but the energy in itself is a groundbreaking achievement. Can we not focus on that?
What I would like is if we could, get a process for both, right? One that is optimized for just getting the energy, and we're not risking any time shenanigans, and one that doesn't vent energy somewhere it doesn't need to be, and then we have just the time shenanigans, right? Just enough energy to keep the time to time gate open.
You make a fair point, but for both of these cases, I believe we're going to have to do some work to bring your friends on side.
I'll convince them.
Okay.
They're rational people.
Good, because they could be problematic otherwise. And I'd really rather we didn't have problems to deal with. I would not like this to get messy.
No, I don't think it needs to be messy. It should be fine.
At this point, you hear footsteps. So, Nigel and Martin, you made your way up from the caves, like through the lower levels, up to the upper floors, and you can hear, like, faint voices. You can hear Avery's voice. Pendergast's voice, muffled through the door upstairs.
The door's closed?
The door's
Or
closed.
open?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, should we
You
not?
can open it and go in.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's anything else you wish to do beforehand.
I think it's a closed door. We can't just walk in. It's impolite, regardless of the circumstances. We'll have to knock.
Come in.
Oh. Hello. Avery. Everything all right?
Yeah. Well, not exactly how I expected things to go here. But first things first, Nordstrom?
Yes, not exactly how I expected things to go either. But
No, but your theory worked. This genius idea from my brief encounter with the book. I could understand the science and the physics of. I couldn't understand the Swedish, obviously. I'm not much of a linguist. But the diagrams themselves I could understand. But personally, I would have thought a careful, a measured approach would be best. The possibility of this endless energy could change lives. Well, change lives for everyone, really. Everyone could have access to it. But, and Mr. Hargreaves, thank you to you and your partner for helping locate Nordstrom. 'Cause I was quite concerned when he had vanished.
yes, I think we may have made a mistake there, and I do apologise. Especially Mr. Collins.
And
We should have trusted you from the beginning, and
Avery
your
here.
help has been in
Oh, Avery,
vital. That's the word I'm
extremely
going for.
talented. He's extremely talented. He's much better than he thinks he is.
This
But, Miss Ward, there is the tiny matter of our very first encounter. You stole a book.
Requisitioned it.
You
for
also
safekeeping.
tampered with memories.
Requisitioned for safekeeping.
Now, what you may
The
not have
knowledge that you
realised
had
was...
is dangerous to be out in
Oh,
the
definitely.
world.
The book was dangerous. I'd planned to keep hold of it until I believed Nordstrom was a bit more relaxed. He was a bit excited for his experiment. But the book itself seemed dangerous. But it's still the matter of fact that you, one, stole it, and two, tampered with memories of a number of people. Now, I have particular views
You
on
were
certain
not willing
things.
to hand the book over.
Oh, I've got no interest in the book. It's not my book. It belonged to Nordstrom.
You were somewhat obstructive in our first encounter, and I thought it best to remove your memories of the encounter so that you did not come after me and cause trouble for the society. Unfortunately, it seems I did insufficient a job there.
Yes, I started to remember a short time afterwards and managed to jog the memory of my butler as well. His memories have returned also.
And the little piece of evidence you left behind was invaluable in that, Miss Ward.
But, you see, I've got very particular views on memories. You see, memories, I believe, are what make us who we are. In a way, they're aspects of our soul. And when you tamper with people's memories, you're changing them. For example, now yourself, if you were to lose the last 5 years of your memories, you would not be the same person you are now. So as soon as you start tampering with people's memories, you try to change
It took
them.
less than an hour from you, not 5 years. You're making
True.
quite a lot of fuss about this.
Either way, it's just my particular view on the matter.
It seems that
Will not
The original-
speak to you again unless I must.
rather you didn't.
Lucy. Sorry, Mr. White, I will not take your memories from you again.
It's very difficult to trust someone who's done that once, because how would I remember?
You wouldn't.
Exactly. Well, Keeper, what sort of time of day is it now?
Probably about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun's going down.
Yes, there is the matter of the evening meal, I believe, that the hotel are meant to have. Avery, are you planning to stay here much longer, or?
They don't. I think we've talked about most of the stuff.
I'm thinking of just returning to the hotel to have something to eat. It's been a long day.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Miss Watt, do you have some time at some point? I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Just
Myself?
all other stuff. Not right now. Not for the project. Just
It's the vehicle outside. I'm not sure who that belongs to.
That's my car. This
You have
Pendergast.
your own car.
I do, yes. Quite a marvelous invention, aren't they?
Yeah.
I believe. Yes.
Well, you see, I'd rather return before it gets too dark. And
I
there
am
is-
not keeping you here. You are not prisoners.
That's very exactly. Avery, if you plan to stay here much longer, could we have the keys, please, for our vehicle? But it's the other vehicle outside. Should anything be needed?
Yeah. I'll come with you. It's
Oh,
fine.
are you sure?
It's fine. I'm just gonna.
You said you had a question for me before you
That's
left?
yeah. Let's private for someone else. Some other time. It's fine.
But no, just plan to return to the hotel to have something to eat and drink. It has been a long day.
At some point, though, I would like to
There
have
were some unusual things we've seen.
Well,
Yeah,
I will. Let us not keep you here any longer then. You'd better be getting back.
We should.
Mr. Nordstrom, we've made up a bed for you here. And we should be comfortable enough. This place is still mostly sound. The building, it was in use, I think, about a decade ago. It's still
These sort of
somewhat.
buildings tend to be made to last.
Yes. But if you gentlemen would prefer to return to your hotel, go ahead. As I said, we're not
For now.
keeping you here.
But I do have some questions about the nature of the experiment you were doing. But that can wait.
Oh, it's okay. Feel free to ask. I'm not in any rush.
Well, if the gentlemen are returning back, are you staying at the Grand as well?
Yes, I believe that's where we were, right?
Perhaps Pendergast and I will return with you. The accommodation is much more comfortable. We could get dinner together, the five of us.
That sounds like a great idea.
Splendid. Splendid indeed. Yes. No, that sounds good. I had a few things to pick up from my room. Anyway, so probably we head back. Well, you have your own car, so you don't need... We'll meet you back at the hotel.
We'll meet each other at the hotel.
You know the way out?
We'll find our way. It'll be
Oh,
fine.
yes. Well,
We'll just follow the footsteps in the dust. There's quite a bit of dust here.
so... You're free to go. You step out. The door closes behind you. You hear, muffled by the door, Miss Ward say something to Pendergast.
Can we hear that?
You give me a listen roll if you're trying to listen in, yes?
Well, you know we're going to try and listen. Actually, I'll spend 2 points of luck to make out a hard.
Both of you hear
Oh.
what... Yeah, with a hard success, both of you hear what Miss Ward is saying. We need to watch them closely. I don't trust them. They are exactly the kind of interfering busybodies that my uncle used to associate with. Yes, I get the same feeling. This is going to end badly. Why could you not have... If you're going to take someone's memories, please take all of them. Don't leave enough to them to track us down. Maybe we just take the inventors, get on a boat, go to France. We can rebuild a machine there. It doesn't have to be here. No. Here's best. Besides, they'd probably just follow us. Yeah. Right, do you want to try and... You said something about the machine downstairs? I don't know, they might have been fiddling with it. I don't know for certain. I'm going to go check downstairs with, Dave. You can't call him Dave. It's a terrible name. It suits him. Right. I'll meet you at the car in 15 minutes? Yes, 15 minutes. And you hear footsteps approaching the door.
Oh, we'll speed up quietly.
She's like, I wasn't eavesdropping.
We just paused outside the door to listen.
Yeah.
You shifting, looking at our clothing, make sure we had everything ready to go, so we don't look suspicious at all.
Oh, it's okay. They already suspect us anyway.
Yeah. Now, should we make our way out quickly before he goes and inspects the machine and calls the alarm?
Oh, well, I mean, we only did a little bit of tinkering. But, yeah, let's head to the vehicle.
Right.
It'll be fine.
How are you anyway, Avery?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
They've been treating you well?
Yeah, it's a bit... I'm a little not entirely certain about the viability of separating these two things. Also, I'm not...
What two things?
I mean, you heard it, right? Like the time shenanigans?
No, we hadn't been up... Well, we weren't... As players, we weren't up there at that point.
When it happened, when we experienced it, yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? And we had the power, right? So the idea was that we're separating the two as good as well as possible, so you can use them without risking the other thing, right? So if you want to use the time thing, so you don't have too much energy flying around, and if you want to use the energy thing, that you don't open time gates, right? The problem is I'm not sure if that's possible or how feasible all of that is, and I'm not entirely because the physics just is weird at that point.
Oh, it is. When I was having a look, it just seemed a bit strange. It seemed to be information in the book seemed to mention different dimensions. It didn't seem to add up. The diagrams implied there were more than 3, 4, 5. Several dimensions, and it didn't make sense. Unfortunately,
I mean, it puts the math.
I couldn't understand the Swedish, but I could understand the diagrams. They just looked wrong. It seems the physics is different, but it shouldn't be. But then again, physics are different worlds, perhaps. Who knows?
I don't know. I think the potential is definitely worth it to take a look, but we most certainly need to be as careful as humanly possible.
Well, I know nothing about the physics of this. It's way beyond my ability, but I do know the tendencies of man in my experience with them, and it's not always good.
Yeah.
My concern was, as soon as we develop a new thing like this, someone's going to turn it into a weapon somehow.
Yeah.
Great to finding ways to kill each other.
I mean, yeah, that is...
New source of energy.
Look at the Maxim gun, right?
Or turn it into an energy weapon of some fashion, or a bomb. But
the problem is that somebody's going to do that. If it's possible, somebody's going to do that. Right?
Exactly. Someone will invent it. If we don't, someone else will. I just feel it's important to take a slow and steady approach
100%.
into it to make sure all safety precautions, limit accidents, but the tampering with time I'm not clear about. I don't know enough of it, and I think that's probably a bad idea in my view.
Yeah, look, the thing I'm fairly certain that you would get a paradox the moment you can change anything, right? So that shouldn't be possible. Just like bare logic shouldn't be possible.
There may be something that pushes back when you try to change something.
Yeah, or you know, it's like you something like that, right?
Like a rubber band.
Yeah.
Stretch it, it'll snap back. But as long as the band doesn't snap, you should be fine.
I'm thinking it might be more like looking into the past, right? Future might be a completely different thing. We travel into the future all the time, right? Every day.
That's true.
By one day.
We're moving
But
forward.
it's always a one-way trip.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm thinking, right? That the time travel backwards is more like look through a glass. Because the only thing we heard a gunshot, and we heard the chanting.
Well, there was story about cults and murders and things in this building some time ago. There'd been weird stories about an inmate who went insane and killed people and ran off. But Avery, on a slightly different note, did you see the fish people?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I saw any fish people.
No. It's something really strange. When after you and your companions had gone upstairs, it was Mr. Hargreaves drew my attention to it. There was someone who looked rather fish-like and aquatic in the water, watching the experiment.
You seem, and they seem, well, I have no idea, but they seemed extremely insistent that we leave. But
In
out
the water, actually.
yeah, through the water channel at the end of the cave.
I'm not much of a swimmer. I wasn't going to head that way. I don't understand it. It's strange. It just doesn't make sense.
As you're having this conversation, are you heading back down to the car? Is that
Yes.
Yeah. So you walk out of the front door, sort of crunching through the gravel, and sort of round the wall to where you
Oh,
had
that's the
parked your
point.
car.
Avery, did you want to return that bit to their car?
Oh yeah.
Just thought I'd mention.
Let me just.
It would have been a
Yeah, you
long
did
walk.
sabotage their car. They might have been a long time getting back to town.
Which, to be fair, it would have been entertaining, but still, it'd be impolite.
Yeah. We found out it's not that worrying yet, right? So we can just.
They're only slightly insane. They're not completely insane, just slightly.
I mean, for as far as I can tell, they are still in full possession of their mental faculties. Not
Yes, that's good.
at least compared to
What was possible?
poor Basil here.
Yeah, that's true. He should.
Basil.
Well, if he can. He's been a bit quiet. He's not
Yeah.
really been talking that much.
He was with us. I mean, he buggered off. Maybe he went back
Did
to the
we
hotel.
bring Basil with us, or
Unclear.
I was going to say because we could bring him with us and just leave him in his room,
Yeah, so let's say...
like unresponsive in his room. He's just like,
yeah, let's say he's with you, because then that probably makes more sense than having wandering loose on the cliffs around the sea. That's-
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, so he kind of follows you down, sort of muttering to himself, time travel, time.
Come on, Basil, get in the car. We'll get you back to the hotel.
Mr. Hargreaves, your apprentice doesn't seem that well.
My apprentice?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Basil.
It was a shock to his mind when he saw
yeah.
the fish people.
I'm sure a good night's rest will be fine.
I'm sure he'll be right as rain tomorrow morning.
So, I'm not entirely sure what to do about this matter. But, anyway. Avery, did you have much of a chance to look at the changes to the design in the drawings?
I mean, I looked at them, but most of them, the parts that I understand were not changed, and the parts that were changed, those were in the weird bits.
Well,
And I don't have enough knowledge about the weird physics.
No, we can have another look at the drawings anyway. I've got them with me. But yeah, let's
So,
head
yeah,
back to the
so you-
hotel.
Driving back down the road, back down into town. And darkness has fallen by now. You can see the moon above the sea, ripples of on the water. The bobbing head of is that a seal? Maybe that's a seal. Possibly a seal.
Would,
There are
would
seals
I,
here, right?
having recently seen a fish person's head above water, would I recognize it?
Too far away. It's just a brief moment it's bobbing up and down from the water.
Mm.
Could be a seal, could be a fish person.
Ah, okay.
Who knows? Whatever it is, it's out there.
Now, this is with that where we see it. Does that more or less correspond to where the
It's
cave
just
and?
further out at sea.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, if you head back down into Brighton, back to the hotel, and presumably return your car to whoever you borrowed it from.
Yep, return it. It was just hired for the day, so we'll return
Yep.
it to whatever hire company.
And yes, you have. Is there anything you wish to do before you meet Pendergast and Miss Ward for dinner?
There is one thing. I want to have a quick look through the drawings.
The drawings.
Off the table, we nicked all the drawings.
Right.
Oh yes, you did. Yes.
I just want to have
Yeah.
academic look through that.
So you lay out. You can see the plans for the machine. You can recognize the machine from the plans. You can see most of these plans are drawn in Pavel's hand.
Yeah.
Or Avery's hand, actually. Some of these drawings would have been Avery's drawings. You
Yeah.
recognize this is your sort of work on the prototype that then has been updated by Pavel and updated by another probably another 2 bits of handwriting as well. Some neatly lettered, some scrawled. Several sort of sheaths of blueprints and plans.
What
yeah.
sort of role would be needed to try and get a better understanding?
Depends what you're trying to understand.
I suppose I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be mechanical repair to get an idea how the machine works.
It'll be engineering, really, or mechanical repair if you want to know about base functions a bit. Engineering if you want to, or some science if you want to understand, really understand what's going on here.
Because I'd succeeded on the physics role on the original book, but that was more dimensions.
Yeah, that was more conceptual. Yeah.
That was something else.
You do notice that, there's a lot of, Avery, you would notice that a lot of this is, you're familiar with it. It's blueprints, it's plans. It doesn't really explain how the machine works. It's more most of it is put another screw here sort of instructions. It's just adaptations. But there are some scrolls that don't look normal to you. It doesn't look like engineering writing. There's some diagrams for bits of metal with sigils on it. That's the best way I can describe it. Strange symbols that you don't recognize, Avery, as anything you're familiar with as engineering, shorthand or scientific notation.
Or like a runic language.
Yeah, looks.
It's
Yeah.
shorthand, but not necessarily
Strange.
one we're familiar with.
Yeah, maybe a shorthand, maybe another language.
I'll probably copy those down too.
So,
I mean, it's certainly not electrical circuits or something.
No.
I mean, those tend to look runic at some point, but
but I would offer anyone an occult or Cthulhu mythos role here, if you've got skills in any of those.
Let's see.
Oddly enough, none at all.
You should have had some mythos from the experience at the.
Oh yeah,
You should have had some.
I've got 2 mythos.
Yes.
Two.
I tried a
yeah.
cult roll, so
Yeah, you look over it and you're not very familiar with the cult business. You're a man of business and science.
exactly. But I'll probably make a note of the sigils on a separate piece of paper, and I won't damage the drawings in any way. I'll sort of roll them up as such once we're finished looking at them. I'm not entirely sure that Dr. Pendergast is what he appears to be,
Yeah.
or who he appears to be. I did not mention this earlier, but I had a bit of a look into his past, and he seems to have appeared from nowhere, more or less.
His behavior was questionable when we went to see him, that 18 Grosvenor.
Yeah. I'm just a bit suspicious of him. I'm not entirely sure, knowing the sort of things we've seen recently, that things aren't as they appear to be. So I think we need to be a bit cautious of him. But I'm not entirely sure what we need to be cautious of him about, but I don't think he is what or who he appears to be.
Well, I agree with you on that completely.
But whether he wishes us harm, who knows? But we should be careful just in case. But I'm not entirely sure of this machine. The time tampering I'm not happy with, but as long as it doesn't harm me or anyone else, who knows?
Keeper, did that would my occult roll count at all?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was on another
And
tab. I did not see your success there.
and could I spend 2 experience to make it a hard success?
To look, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, you looking at this, like you've not hugely experienced with occult matters, but you have seen these symbols before. It was in a book that maybe you've actually no. Did we establish which of the detectives it was that also reads the trashy Collinwood books? Was that Hargreaves?
Yeah, most likely.
Yes. In fact, that is where you've seen these symbols. You remember these from I now need a good title for one of Collinwood's books. The
What? I was going to say,
Case of the Cursed Amulet.
you know,
Where you remember that these sigils match up to the one that were on the cursed amulet in that book that caused, yeah. The main character went mad, and then tried to murder his twin brother, and then he took his twin brother's place. Then the plot got quite convoluted. It was definitely written serialized, so every section just got more ended on a cliffhanger and got more and more dramatic. But the central part was this cursed amulet, which was involved in, was the amulet of a dark and dangerous god that then appeared in the final act. In Collinwood's book, he simply called this god the Lord of the Gate.
nothing suspicious about that title at all. You know, Martin, looking at these drawings and the editions, I do recognize some of the things, the handwriting and some of the things that's going on. I had been reading some of Colin Wood's one of his books, the Cursed Amulet.
So someone must read those sort of books.
Well, you know, it just has to pass the time. So,
And you have it still?
probably back at the office. But it talked about
you
it.
got tucked away this entire shelf of occult paperbacks somewhere.
I mean, we probably have us in the stack of magazines, the serialization somewhere at the office, you know. They talked about this amulet, and it was owned by this dark god, the Lord of the Gate. Does seem kind of related to what we're doing. Perhaps we could talk to Collinwood when we have a chance, get some more information about it.
Unfortunately, he's not with us at the moment.
At the moment, but you know, just make a note to.
It'll certainly be worth mentioning to him, but he does like to talk a little bit, as I recall.
Yes, he does.
I think Basil's probably the best person to speak to him. They seem to be on the right level.
Yeah, they have a rapport of some sort.
It is. They couldn't stop talking to one another.
Right.
But yeah, that's interesting. It's something strange. I mean, Everything seems to be getting strange these days. Looks like a type of shorthand to me, but perhaps he's familiar with it.
You're ready to meet the others for dinner. You hear the sound of it. You see Pendergast's car pulling up outside the hotel, and he and Miss Ward head up to their respective rooms to presumably prepare for dinner. And
Quick, put those away before they see them. The plans.
I assume you're in one of your own rooms looking at these plans. You're not looking at them
We'd
in the
have them in our
corridor.
rooms. One of
Yeah,
them.
okay.
Big giveaway, just standing
Which
outside
is-
the room going,
Or one of the tables in the dining room. We
Probably
spread
not
out.
my room because it's right next to Pendergast's.
Okay.
Well, actually, it doesn't matter either way. It'll be somewhere else anyway.
okay. So, are you ready to head down for dinner?
Soon. Mr. Hargreaves and Avery, do you think we should return these drawings to them? I suspect it'll be a good idea.
Okay, well, first off, how will we explain their absence?
Well, we stole them.
Okay, nothing could go wrong with telling them that. It's just straight out.
Well, it's okay. I'll explain everything.
Or perhaps Avery had them with him.
But how did I get them?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just... It was a revenge theft.
I wouldn't. How about you just hide them back in this room once we're at on dinner or during dinner? No.
Well, they were at the cave on that table. But it's okay. I won't worry too much about it. I'll return them.
All right.
They're going to notice they're missing either way. They'll know we took them. So I may as well just hand them back.
I mean, yeah, they're already worried you might, break stuff.
Well,
Oh, are they? Do you think they're suspicious of us for some reason?
I mean, I think Miss Ward called it like it's the same sort of people her uncle had with him, and
Sure.
that you would, nosy people that break stuff.
Her uncle that was previously worked at the Esoteric Society?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
I think they, as I understood, they tend to more mess around to break stuff than to, get stuff to work.
well, she does strike me as a bit of a foozler or a bungler.
And what?
Foozler. It's a Victorian insult.
Let's speak Victorian insults.
I don't even know what the insult is supposed to insult. But okay.
It's apparently, I'd looked up the Victorian period insults. It's meant to be a really unpleasant one. There's a lot of them that are meant to be, if you said it to the wrong person, you could be challenged to a duel. I've got loads of them.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
You just
Well,
want to
then
be challenged
don't
to
let her
duel
hear
at this
it.
point.
So little things like that. But, yeah, just a bungler. I don't think they're being careful enough. But it's probably safer they have the drawings than not.
Yeah. Just return them. Say since we've agreed that this is no longer this isn't as worrisome as we thought it was. You don't feel problematic if returning them.
Exactly.
And then
I'll return them after lunch.
yeah. Did you make a copy?
I don't know if I'd have time to. They're probably quite extensive. Keeper, what sort of they are very extensive drawings, aren't they?
You're not particularly experienced at copying technical drawings.
Not much of a forger either.
No, so I'd be asking for a drawing roll here. Or if you have experience in the actual engineering of them, a roll related to that.
Could I try doing a rough sketch of them?
Yes, give me a drawing roll.
Just do think I've got fine art. I'll try that. And that is a
Fine art.
success. Just a rough drawing, probably missing a lot of the details, but
Yes. So you've got
general-
a rough sketch of them. Yes.
that's not too bad. Just as well a practice drawing. But,
Solid.
just the details. I won't have all the details, but I've copied the sigils and the general idea. So, all of the details. It'd be impossible to build anything from my drawing, but at least you'd have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of the mechanical stuff that's in here. I don't need that.
But
That's
at least
fine.
we've got something to have a look at if we needed to possibly work on something separately ourselves, as to consider alternatives like a quick shutdown should things go wrong. But yes, I think it's best to return the originals, but I'll keep those in my room now and then return it after food, after a meal. I will mention in the meal about the drawings. You don't want to turn up at a meal with a massive pile of paperwork. It's just,
Yeah. Better not.
Okay, you heading down?
yes.
So, as you arrive down at the dining room, the waitress say, yes, we are expecting you. A table for you and you're dining with Dr. Pendergast and Miss Ward this evening?
Exactly.
I'm glad you
Yes,
managed to finally find them. I hear from the receptionist you were looking for them earlier.
We found them.
Yes, well, a table, they're not down yet, but your table is just over there, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. It was quite an adventure.
Hope you're enjoying your stay in Brighton so far.
It's been quite an adventure so far.
And you don't have to wait long before Dr. Pendergast and Miss Ward enter. So, across the room. Both of them have changed for dinner. You recognise Pendergast's clothes as some of the ones from his suitcase earlier that you had a root around in. Yes, and I don't think you had never searched Miss Ward's rooms, did you? No. So,
To be fair, we didn't even know, we weren't sure of her room.
as they both arrive down. Gentlemen?
Well, as I arrive, I'll stand. So,
Yeah, he pulls out Miss Ward's chair. That's a bit.
yes. I don't want to, but I will. It's like a muscle reflex.
Yes. She might have stolen your memories, but she's still a lady.
Well.
Martin's anger against his etiquette
Oh,
change.
he's still not happy, but manners, well, maketh the man.
Indeed. Gentlemen, I'm so glad you could join us. This is definitely more civilized surroundings than earlier.
Certainly better. There is something I need to, well, I don't need to, but I shall mention. Well, we were rather concerned of what you were up to and your actions back at the cave and the other location. So, I may have picked up some items from the cave. The
The
drawings.
blueprints are not too damaged.
Oh, haven't damaged them at all.
Excellent.
No, so I think it's much better that you have them than not have them. Considering the
It
circumstances.
would be terrible to make a mistake on the machine because we did not have the blueprints available.
Exactly. So I haven't brought them with me now, but I can return it. I can always leave them at the reception for either of you to pick them up.
Yes, that would be good. I had assumed you may have acquired them when I went downstairs to check with my assistant.
I haven't damaged the
does-
drawings.
Does he even have a name?
I've been calling him Dave.
Hmm.
Pendergast
Yes.
does not approve.
So not David, just Dave.
He didn't look like a David to me.
Ah. Suppose. I was thinking more of Bill,
Maybe?
or a William, or Billy.
I mean,
I could try those out on him. Maybe they'll suit him better. We'll sort of see. Anyway, shall I order some wine?
Yes.
Yes. And as the wine's brought over, you recognise actually Actually, I could ask for a spot hidden from all of you, because you may or may not spot something here. Okay, Martin, you're probably you're still
I'm still
annoyedly
angry.
looking at this one. But Avery and Nigel, you both catch sight of, as like the waiter takes your order over towards like the door to the kitchen. You catch a brief glimpse of that same maid who. Actually, did any of you see the maid upstairs? Was it only Basil that saw the maid?
I don't recall.
Oh, actually, I think it was Basil because he
Yes,
saw.
none of you saw her.
He-
You see,
Yeah,
you see
he
a glimpse
distracted
of a
her.
maid looking your direction, but you don't recognise her because none of you actually met her.
Neither did she
Very good
us.
point. Yes.
Did Basil come down to have dinner with us, or
No,
did he stay in his room?
Basil's up in his room. Like
Okay.
he wasn't feeling fit for dinner.
Ah, okay.
He's too busy drawing or sketching.
He's,
or
he needs
scribbling
a
and
nap.
stuff.
Basil is resting. Yeah, drink support. May I suggest a toast to our joint endeavour?
Well,
We did not get off to the best of starts, but
So,
I trust that the association between you and the London Esoteric Society will improve from now on. Yes?
Yes, obviously.
well, yes. I'm curious as well, Dr. Pendergast. Who are you,
Yeah,
really?
he sort of raises his glass to start a toast and then lowers it again to see what you...
Definitely join the toast. But who are you, really?
I am a friend of yours. Now, to our continued association, live or never. He raises his glass. It does not do to start questioning people about their pasts like this. I was not always known by the same name I is known of now. I've
Fair enough.
had to make a name for myself here after some
A new start, perhaps.
financial difficulties abroad. Yes. Things that do not need to be brought up here today. They are matters of the past. They are not relevant to any of our...
Fair enough. We
Current
have a name to
affairs.
know you by anyway.
Yes. Indeed. And you can tell he was not pleased with that question. Like, there's definitely, like, he looked annoyed when Martin asked it.
About who he was, really.
Yes.
No. Can I do a psychology roll just to see if he's...
See if you can figure anything deeper. Yeah. Give me a psychology roll, Nigel.
No.
No. All you got was that flicker of, like, he looked just really visibly very annoyed when Martin asked him that. Like, was not a topic of conversation he wanted raised.
Yeah, it was sort of the intention, really.
Yeah, he
I wasn't
toasts,
being polite.
takes a sip. And I'd like everyone as so dinner's served, the courses start to come out. Very nice food, course by course. I would like you all to make me a Constitution roll, please. I know some of you perhaps. So Nigel's holding his liquor fine. He's feeling fine. Avery and Martin, feeling incredibly woozy. Like not quite like you're drunk. Maybe it is. Like, you've not had that much wine, surely, but like it's becoming hard to form thoughts, and you like even keeping upright's getting difficult. Like
Do I notice?
you don't fall right. Right, I just need to roll. Where's my dice? My dice are in the other room, annoyingly. I'll get them after the break. I'll roll.
When since I'm managing to hold my liquor, do I notice that it's just Martin and Avery getting
No.
drunk, or
Pendergast seems to be all right, but Miss Ward doesn't look great either. She's sort of listing over, like sideways, like keeps like trying to hold herself up off the tabletop, like. Pendergast is looking at her with concern.
As I am at Martin and Avery.
Was the bottle brought opened or closed to us? Because sometimes open them at the.
No, they didn't open
already.
it at the table. No, it
No,
was open when it was brought to you. It would probably actually be a decanter of wine rather than a bottle.
Yeah, I'm not feeling well at all at the moment.
What? How? I mean, what is? How are you feeling? What's
So it's if we had a bit too much to drink, but this is like one glass of wine or two. That's not this yeah.
Keeper, what sort of... This is a silly question, but I don't know the sort of facilities this place has. Will it have like toilets on this floor or near the...
There is a bathroom, yes.
I think I'm going to excuse myself to try and... Well, I'll excuse myself to the bathroom, and Keeper, I'm going to try and make myself throw up everything.
Okay, give me a first aid roll. Let's see if you can actually do this. I think the first aid seems appropriate.
That's a fail now.
No.
Trying to get it out of my system.
Clearly not got a very good gag reflex.
No.
Right, now I've also noticed that...
I'll return to the table anyway. I'm just trying to...
Towards sort of, like, head almost on the table, like Pendergast, like, Lucy? This...
And I'd say, excuse me just for a second, and I go after where we saw the maid, where
you're heading towards the servant's door. Right?
Yeah.
But
so you're heading that way. This is while Martin's gone off to the bathroom.
Yep.
What's Avery doing?
I'm probably gonna notice that more people are clearly. I mean, Madeline's towards the toilet. Miss Ward is fumbling too, so I would probably try and help her up to get her to her room.
Yes, we should take her upstairs.
Yeah, and I would probably not be too good either. But you know,
you just try and help her, and your limbs are not obeying you. The Pendergast helps Miss Ward up with one, and he's trying to like haul you up with the other. Like, goodness sake, none of you hold your liquor.
I didn't even drink anything much.
Nigel, you step out this door. You see, like, a maid servant with reddish hair, like, lurking in the corridor just off the dining room. It's almost like she was, like, she jumps back from the door as you draw near, like she was peering through and watching.
Miss, may I have a word with you?
Yes, sir.
No, was she the one who served the wine at the table?
No, she didn't serve it at the table. That would have been like a waiter.
Okay.
But you saw her. You did catch a glimpse of her by the door, just before the wine came out.
Do you know who would serve the wine in the restaurant tonight?
Peters. He's the forgotten the word. My brain just keeps going sommelier, but that's a wine taster, so I can't remember what the official term.
Sommelier.
Do they also serve wine?
In
which case, sommelier. We're going with that.
Okay.
French can come at me.
Right. Because we have some of our party are having some problems, like they had way too much of it already. Where can I find this, Mr. Peters?
Mr. Peters. He went that way. He's just gone to get down to the cellar to get a few more bottles.
Okay, and do I get the feeling she's being honest with me?
Give me a psychology roll, please.
Can't tell.
You can draw what conclusion you want.
Oh, actually, if I were to spend 3 points of luck,
that would be a success.
Okay, then I will do that.
Yeah, she's she's a bad liar.
Yeah.
Like, she points that way, but like, then you
Okay,
see the
which-
guy walk past the other direction. Like, he's not even in that direction. Like, she is
Don't-
making stuff up. She's a little bit. She definitely looks nervous.
I understand you're
She looks-
nervous, miss, but please don't lie to me. This is important.
I had to do it.
What did you have to do? Tell me.
You're with him.
Him who? Which one?
The sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Didn't know about that part of it. He's just been a recent associate of ours, so we're not with him.
Didn't even
We're-
get him.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I didn't even manage to get him. He's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be affected by it at all. Everyone else is though. But what did you put in?
All the laudanum I could get hold of. Thought maybe if like it could take him down, I could like, I don't know, put a pillow over his face or something. I didn't think it through. He's here for us. I know he is. That's the only reason he'd come back here.
Come back. He's been here before.
He comes back and he comes hunting.
Do you know what he's hunting? What it is that he hunts?
Us. My uncles, my great uncles, he keeps coming back. One by one he takes us.
All specifically from your family.
Always from our family.
This is very
Keeps returning. And every time he comes back.
Has anyone disappeared yet?
Not yet, but my brother's out there and he's coming for me or my brother or someone else. I know he is. That's the only reason he'd be back here, back by the sea.
Well, he is distracted by a thing that he's working on up at the asylum. Don't worry about your Peter for the moment. How much did you put in the wine?
Like 2 bottles full? I don't.
2 bottles.
How are you still upright?
I'm not. Well, I mean, I have some experience in this.
I mean,
but
you're not with him. You
No.
promise you're not with him. Like
I
you're
do
not here to get for us.
I do promise I am not with him.
Then you need to help me kill him.
Miss, I'm a detective. My partner is upstairs
Oh,
somewhere.
in which case, I'm not trying to kill anyone.
No, your conversation is private. It will not be repeated.
Right. Yes. No. Look.
See, I haven't even asked your name yet.
You know. No, never mind.
No, go ahead. Please tell me if there's anything relevant. Please tell
There was
me.
another man lurking around the upstairs corridor earlier today.
Right.
He said he'd lost his keys, but I think he was lying.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he is with the sorcerer too.
The
Maybe he was-
big guy, longish.
Yeah.
No, he that's my partner Basil. He is not. We are definitely not with him. Although he's not feeling well right at the moment.
I didn't give him anything.
Okay. No, we are definitely not with him. We're suspicious of him. We're trying to figure out some other things. So don't try to remain, don't get yourself involved anymore. But thank you very much. And can I go in deeper into the kitchen out another door so it doesn't look like I just went to that one spot and then came back?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can leave by that door. So, Martin, when you return from the bathroom, everyone has left the table. They're all gone. The table is left abandoned.
probably try to make my way to my room.
Yeah, as you make your way to the room, you can hear ahead of you, like, the slightly stumbling, several-legged race of, like... Avery, sit yourself down there. Just try not to fall over. I will be back for you in a moment. Look. Miss Ward, come along. Lucy, he, like, half picks her up and, like, hauls her towards the stairs. And you can see, like, one of the staff, like, looking at her with concern, like, is everything all right, sir? And Pendergast turns back. No, it most certainly is not. I don't know what is wrong with your wine. But you need to look into it. This is unacceptable, I tell you. Unacceptable.
So,
muttering away to himself.
So when I get back to the table, everyone else has gone off.
Yes.
All right. Well.
So yeah, Avery, you've been like left by Pendergast as Pendergast is taking Lucy upstairs. So Martin, you'd see Avery sort of probably at the foot of the stairs, unless Avery wants to try and make his own way up, crawling.
I think.
And I'm just leaning there.
I think Martin will probably try and help him, but it'd be just like two drunk people.
Martin's also been poisoned. Martin is also barely
just like two drunk people
staying on his own 2 feet. Like Martin is like not.
Right.
I almost wish I spent the luck.
Yes.
I'll come up behind them and say, come on, gentlemen, let's go upstairs and get yourselves in bed. I know what's going on. The wine was poisoned. And I'd like to use first aid if I can, knowing what it was, to if there's anything I can do to help them empty their stomachs.
Okay, yeah. Give me a first aid roll. We're trying to unpoison ourselves. Who's that on? Which one first?
Martin.
Okay, yeah.
In the middle of the corridor.
No, probably in our room.
Well, yeah, in your room.
Yeah. We're a dignified Edwardian gentleman here. Like, and then he said Victorian.
Yes,
Nope,
we only
strictly
drink in
Edwardian these
private.
days. So you get them back. Some like no one's feeling great. Even having even throwing up, like you still like enough time has
Still in our
passed. It's
system.
definitely like.
Probably sleep well
What else
tonight.
you chucked in there?
We have, well, if you are going to sleep, we have a great deal to talk about tomorrow when you wake up. Pendergast is not at all what he seems to be.
Yeah, we got that impression.
He has a sinister
What he is.
he has a sinister purpose for being here, aside from the what they're doing up at the asylum.
Now that sounds ominous. So he's been here before, or
Bear in mind, Martin River, you're not in the position to be making much sense right now.
no, he isn't. I'm just.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
I probably won't remember anything.
That's probably what Martin was
exactly,
trying to say. What comes out is more.
Blah, blah.
That
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
That's good.
So they'll turn to try to take care of Avery.
Yeah. See if we can unpoison Avery a bit. Well, he's not unpoisoned. We don't have any.
Another first aid roll for him.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, success. You've at least managed to get rid of most of this horrible laudanum wine poison concoction, whatever it is else that.
Yeah, right. Whatever she put in it.
Whatever she put in there, well, that was the only thing she got.
Yeah, it might have just
raided the
been a
medicine
little of
cabinet.
this, little bit of that. Right.
Possibly some rat poison in there. Luckily, not too much. If she'd got more rat poison, this could have ended a lot worse.
Yeah. So
But,
with him,
yeah, you're not feeling well. I mean, even you, Nigel, you like are not feeling great. You're not in a bad
Well,
state like the other two. But yeah,
right. Well,
Yeah.
knowing now that it was bad, I'll probably make myself.
but yeah, you are able to settle yourselves down for a you sleep very well, partly because you have been steadily drugged and poisoned, and we will see what happens in the morning in a moment because I need to remember to get a break before I forget. All right. And we are back. After being rudely poisoned at dinner, our investigators have retired to their rooms. But a deeply drug-infused and poison-spoilt sleep. And as you plunge into these scattered and broken dreams, I would like all of you to make me a power roll, please. Avery and Martin, you don't sleep well, but your sleep is your own. Nigel, you dream. You dream you're walking through Albrook, your feet creaking on rotted floorboards as you make your way up through the building, up towards the roof. You can hear someone speaking up there. You can hear someone chanting, a woman's voice. Miss Ward. You hear her speaking up to the sky. Hear me, King of infinite space, the foundation of vastness, ruler of earthquakes, the vanquisher of terror, destroyer, the shining victor, son of chaos and the void, the guardian of the abyss, god of the outermost darkness, lord of the dimensions, riddle knower, guardian of secrets, lord of the labyrinth, lord of the gate, opener of the way. The oldest, all in one, the one by life prolonged. Umar Atawil, Aksabath, Yog Sagoth Naf Falagan. And then you hear this crash, this ripping sound. And you, as your footsteps lead you up onto the roof, for a moment, you see this great, vast, silver and shining thing looking back at you. This twisted mass of silver tendrils, eyes beyond counting, dwarfing the building you stand on. And Miss Ward standing so small in front of it. And I need a sanity roll, please, from you.
I don't seem to have an entry for dream sanity.
You only lose 1 point of sanity. You awake, like, drenched in sweat. Like, oh, that's whatever was in that wine, oh, that's some weird side effects. Yeah.
Well, aside from his excessively long list of titles, the one that really caught my attention was Lord of the Gate, because that's from Collinwood's novel, The Cursed Amulet. So that's giving me something to think about.
Yeah, you awake. Like, something. The dream is already sort of fading. Like, you remember Sword saying something, and there was something.
But I remember
up there you saw, but your mind sort of shrinks back from trying to remember what it is you saw, even in the dream. But there's something.
It's the tentacles I saw. The silvery tentacles we saw coming out of the
silvery
tentacles,
machine. Yes.
That we saw the first time they tried using the machine. Yeah. Okay. Do I remember that fact, or is it just
you?
Okay.
You can't remember anything more of the specifics of what you saw, but the silveriness, yes.
Okay.
It was the same.
Okay. Well, now that I'm awake, after I give myself a quick wash down with a wet washcloth and wipe the sweat off, I'll make my way over to Martin's room and knock.
Yeah, Martin, you awake to a knock on the door. You feel better than you did last night, but you still feel pretty dreadful. For the time being, both you and Avery will be addressing your problems with a penalty die. the after effects of quite a severe case of being poisoned.
Yep. I'll go and answer the door.
Oh, you made it.
I think.
Good morning. You made it. That's good news. I just wanted to check on you.
Everything's still a bit foggy. I don't remember much after drink last night.
Right, but you,
Come
you're
on.
right.
It's probably better to talk inside rather than in the corridor.
All right. So you're right. Aside from the drink, the poisoned wine that we had last night.
It's poisoned.
Yes, quite severely. You and Avery and Miss Ward were quite affected by it. I have no idea what happened to Miss Ward, but I did help Avery get back to his room and empty his stomach, so hopefully the both of you didn't take much damage from it.
I'll just get dressed and I'll join you at Avery's room to see how he's doing.
Okay, I'll head
give
down
me
there
a
now.
couple moments.
All right. And I head down to Avery's room.
I'll basically just get changed to be more presentable, and I'll catch up with him.
Avery, you wake also feeling dreadful as,
Come on. And I'd pound on the door and sing, "Come on, boy."
On the way.
How you feel?
Chewed up and spit up. What the fuck was in that wine?
Well, we were poisoned last night. It was meant for the entire table, though. It wasn't from Pendergast or Miss Ward.
No, I mean, considering that she was worse off than I was, I'd assume so. I think. So, what was in that? Do you know? Do you know?
Did she give me the exact list of things she poured into it? Or was just a whatever came to hand?
She said laudanum, some other things from the drugs cabinet, and I think there probably was some rat poison in there.
Just things that come to hand. Laudanum, rat poison,
Is there a fire pit in here or nearby somewhere?
A fire pit? Like a fireplace?
Because I'm going to get a piece of coal and I'm going to eat that.
Yes, yeah.
Coal or charcoal?
Doesn't matter as long as it's get a lot of surface area.
Yeah, there is a fireplace. It has both, like, the burnt remains from last night's fire and also, like, a thing of coal next to it. Yeah.
I'm going to just make sure that nobody, is overtly looking. I'm taking that.
It's just this is just your private room, like your.
Oh, private room, yeah. Perfect. I'm gonna.
I mean, I see it because I'm there with you, but
Yeah,
but I understand what he's doing. So.
I'm gonna hate that.
No, it'll be better later.
Yeah.
So yeah, Martin has changed and comes down to join you in Avery's room, as Avery's there, like, chomping on a lump of coal.
Well, it's an unusual breakfast, I'll give you that.
All right, gentlemen, I need to update you on what happened last night, since you don't seem to remember it.
I mean, vague, fuzzy, like I had like 3 liters of wine or something.
Yeah, we all said we're set for dinner with Dr. Pendergast and Miss Ward. They served us wine. And almost immediately after, you, Martin, Avery, and Miss Ward were affected by it. While you guys were feeling ill, I went and tried to flag down some of the serving staff to see what was going on. And I managed to get a confession out that one of the maids had poisoned the wine because she's trying to kill Pendergast.
There's probably a cue.
So why is she doing that?
Well, from what I was able to get out of her, he comes down here regularly to go hunting. When I asked for what, people. He comes down here to hunt people from her family line. They I'm not sure what he does with them. It kills them, but they disappear. She mentioned that he's a sorcerer.
That makes sense. Magic seems to be real.
Now, I assured her that, we're not with him as such, so she's not going to come after us again.
That's good. Don't want another headache like this.
No, I'm sure you don't. Even though I wasn't affected at the time, it did cause some really strange dreams, though.
Laudanum does that, I think, from what I've been told.
I had this dream of Miss Ward up at the top of the asylum on the roof.
Well, you don't have to reveal to us what the details of your dream were.
But I think it's relevant, though.
If you say so.
She was chanting and trying to apparently invoke some other dimensional being. I don't have the words really to describe it. She had an impossibly long name of titles, but the one that stood out was Lord of the Gate, which we talked about yesterday, one of Collingwood's novels, a character in there, one of the Outer Gods, very dark character.
Not the direction I thought this dream was going to go, but please continue.
I wish it had been that way, but no. And this thing did appear. It was, well, the enormity of it was amazing, but it had the same silvery tendrils that we saw the first time the machine was turned on.
Okay.
So, you think she was calling to it, or talking to it, or chanting to it, or
trying to invoke it to bring it into this place?
That's a bit worrying.
So there's a... But that does explain why Pendergrass is so interested in developing the portal side of... what's his name?
They had a bit of an argument between the direction of time they both wanted to go in. She was interested in the future. He was interested in the past. If that's relevant. I wouldn't know. So there's not 100% agreement on what they're going to do with it. And if this dude is somebody that hunts people, I mean, we have the word for like a, maid that just tried to poison us. But
that's true. But I'd hoped nobody had come to any harm so far in this.
Well, we managed to survive.
True.
Pendergast was not affected by it, or at least not visibly affected by it. Miss Ward was.
Hopefully she's not too well.
No, she seemed to take it the worst of all of the other two of you.
So, what do you think we should do? Because it sounds like both Pendergast and Miss Ward are trying to do different things, but I don't think either of them are good.
I mean, good. It's a question, right? It's like you kind of want to get the chance to improve the situation for everybody.
True.
But
there are always people trying to gain advantage.
If Pendergast is somebody that would act in such a way, he's somebody that I'd worry about getting that amount of power in their hands. I mean,
the highest bidder or something for all we know.
I mean, as much as you don't like that you tinkered with your memories, but that's a non-lethal way of problem solving. If you know what I mean. If the person that you had an interaction with that was problematic just doesn't remember that interaction, there's less less harm done than if there's a large conflict from something. So I
Just
probably assume she's less of a problem than he is.
I mean, it is more personally violating, but
Yeah, but you know, it's like
You mentioned that she was the one calling us.
yes.
So that's the other
I
problem.
mean, this is a drug-induced dream, so let's not take
That's a
it.
very good point. And it's also off the word of a maid as well, regards. So
No, I have a bit of experience dealing with people and getting word, truth out of them. She did seem to be telling me the truth.
but at least we have a bit more information than we had beforehand on both of them.
Yes, but the maid is extremely upset. She was extremely upset, mostly because he comes hunting for members of her family. Now, I don't know why hers specifically. I mean, is there something
you
particularly?
could go and ask her. I mean, that would be an important information to know, right?
I'll have to do that. I promised I wouldn't reveal her identity. Just I need to protect my source on this, but
Yeah, fair enough. You just meet her with her at some point and ask her why. And I think that what Avery's gonna be saying is stuff about race, race and such, things that are today no longer, but at that point in time still relevant.
I think we need to speak to our author as well, find out a bit more about this.
yeah, I agree completely.
And a bit more information on that. And I wish we had more information, but we'll have to put it together ourselves. I don't know what they're up to, and just don't know. We'll have to, in a way, roll the dice and see how it goes.
So, do you all feel good, well enough for breakfast, or are you still?
I think so.
Probably something. Probably important for us to have something.
You get
Yeah.
something in your stomach.
Get that cold taste of my mouth.
Toast is always a good one.
You
head down to breakfast, and
I'll
as you get
drop off
down
the
there,
drawings at the reception to be given to Miss Ward.
yes, you see, there is no sign of Miss Ward in the breakfast hall. You do, however, see Pendergast there.
I'll walk
it's up to
over.
you whether you wish to join him or dine breakfast separately.
I don't
He
know.
seems he's not looking up as you enter. Like, he has like a pot of coffee and seems to be poring over he's got a couple of books on the table, one of which you would recognize, Martin, actually, and Avery. You've the book that actually all of you have seen this book enough to recognize the book Pavel had. The Wagens up Nara.
I will
That
go
and
over.
the second book, and he's sort of poring over something over the table.
Now I will go over and I'm just gonna take a seat right next to him and ask, is Miss Ward okay?
He
I'm just gonna
slams,
be like half asleep
the
and
book
sit there.
sort of shuffles one book over the other quickly. Yes, Miss Ward is taking a lie-in this morning. She is feeling somewhat
Understandable.
unwell.
Understandable.
Yes. Are you feeling well, Mr. Collins?
Nah,
This must have been
passable, bearable. I don't know.
the bottle of wine must have gone off.
No.
Yeah.
No?
I believe that someone here has tried to poison us.
Well, at
You
least
see
it's
now
somebody
his
that's
pot of
not us.
coffee is still full. He's not actually drunk any of the coffee.
Well,
I am trying to decide whether this coffee is worth risking my life for.
I'm just gonna open the lid and take a smell. It probably smells like coffee.
Give me a smart hit and see if you can. The sniff test, it has returned.
Oh, moment.
Yeah.
Properly sniffing.
Smells of coffee.
Smells of coffee. It seems fine.
Oh, it's worth the risk.
I'm gonna. Yes. And then I'm gonna ask him.
Yes, somebody has tried to poison us. I don't
Who
know
do you
who.
think? I was going to say, any idea who might?
No. At first, when I saw Miss Ward, I must confess, my first thought when I saw Miss Ward fall ill, that one of you had tried to poison her.
And
But-
I admit the same in the other direction.
We've started to feel ill.
But if you did so, you were very sloppy poisonous. I mean, whoever did this did a poor job of it.
It's true.
Nobody died, which we can be most grateful for. But
Do you have somebody here
we
that
have an
would?
enemy here.
You have an enemy here. Who?
I said we have an enemy here. Someone amongst us has an enemy here. Have any of you?
Exactly. That's what I was asking you. Do you have somebody that would be an enemy here? Because I'm the first time here, so
Yeah.
probably not me.
And I don't believe I've never been here myself, so I don't know anyone here.
I'll probably need to ensure I eat and drink somewhere else rather than at the hotel.
Yes, perhaps. Shall we actually take breakfast? I know a cafe down the road.
That sounds good.
Let's go there.
Which book is the one that he shuffled below the other?
So he's put Vagan's Opnara is on the top. The one that's on the one beneath. You were the first at the table. I'm gonna offer you another spot here and see if you caught a glimpse of what it was. This other book.
Is a success enough?
Yes, success is enough. Yeah, he's shoving both of these books into his pocket now. What you see, the other book, it didn't have like a title printed on the cover. You caught a brief glimpse as he closed it as this quite small, dark leather-bound volume, and the glimpse of the text you got looked to be Latin.
Right.
But I don't know, does Avery read Latin?
No.
No, so all you know is it was something in Latin.
I mean,
He's
there's
now
probably
tucked
enough
away.
of that in physics and in chemistry to recognize it as Latin, but
Yeah.
not enough to do translations and stuff.
Yeah, no, especially not from a glimpse.
No. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna. Get up. You were working on something.
Yes,
when I
actually,
put-
I will
Did I interrupt you?
I will take these books. I borrowed these books off Miss Ward. I will return them to her. I will meet you down in the reception in just a moment.
Sure.
Yes, and then I know a good cafe round the corner. He heads upstairs just for a short moment, and then returns down this way. I hope it's still open. It's a while since I've been back in Brighton.
What's the name of the place you're going? I'll catch up in a minute. I need to go and check on Basil quickly, but I'll be back down shortly.
It's the little one on the corner with the blue sign. I can't actually remember what
Okay,
it's called.
that's fine. I'll find you. It's nothing's very far here, so.
Yeah.
But
What's the
okay.
weather say when I'm looking outside?
It's raining.
All right, so we're not sitting outside.
It's February. It would be utter madness to sit outside in February.
It's fine. I mean, if it's not pissing,
Honestly, English, you're ridiculous. Only you would suggest it be at all appropriate to try and sit outside in this weather. Right. Yeah, this way. Come, gentlemen.
And when they're going up, I will watch them to see if they're leaving, and then when they do, I go back into the kitchen area, looking to see if the
Looking for the
Same.
same maid.
see if she's
Yeah.
still on.
You see
on
her
duty.
there.
Good
Rubbing
good
some
morning.
pots. She looks up nervously.
Don't worry. I'm just here to follow up on a question from last night. Everyone lived.
Oh, I'm. You're not going to report me.
No, I'm not.
You. Why not? I sound insane. You believe what I'm saying?
I do believe what you're saying. But I need to ask, why is it that he is hunting members of your family specifically?
Ma'am.
You
It's
muted?
too hard to explain here. It's. We are cursed.
But what sort of curse?
Have you ever heard tales of Selkies?
I have. I mean, not in detail, but I've heard the name before.
There's an old family story that one of our ancestors took a Selkie bride, or depending on the story, was
Right.
the bride of a Selkie, and bore him a child. That
Right.
child was born different. And time and again, the sea calls us back.
When you say born different, and is it anything like, and then I described the fish person I had seen.
You've seen them.
Yes.
My brother says he sees them sometimes. I tell him not to go walking on the coast, but he says he sees them.
See, this is why since I've seen them myself, both up at the asylum and then out in the sea. I believe you.
The stories are that we're cursed. And I'm not sure I ever really believed it. My mother didn't, that was for sure. Cousin Rosalind, she was crazy. She believed it. She was always talking about sea calling her, and then she just disappeared.
The sea hungers?
Sea hunger. Yeah, she said that.
Yeah, that's what. What does that mean?
I don't know. The sea claims us. People drown. People disappear. Their boats go over, and they're never seen again.
Because the one that I had met up at the asylum kept trying to gesture to me to leave the cave that we were in by an exit. I mean, it would have required a great deal of swimming on my part, which is not a forte. But it seemed I couldn't understand a word they
Maybe
said.
he's trying to drown you. I don't know. I'd stay away. It's hard. There's always this. I don't like being away from sea, but I try not to get too near it. I don't. Bad things happen to our family. Bad things have always happened. But the stories. A cousin married a wealthy businessman, made good in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best our family ever did. Their house blew up.
Oh.
And then there's the murders. An uncle of mine went up to London. The sorcerer took his heart.
Is that when it started?
No, it's been going before then. The sorcerer comes. He takes hearts and leaves bodies.
Okay.
And I didn't believe, and then I was a child when I saw him come with one of my cousins. And that was years ago, but I saw him. It's him. He hasn't aged a day.
Yeah, he does have that strange look about him.
I don't know what manner of man or monster he is, but he has come for us and he is hunting us.
All right.
And we may be cursed or whatever is happening, but maybe that man is the curse. Maybe he is everything that's gone wrong with our family. And all the other stuff is just nonsense and lies. Maybe if we could get rid of him, then I wouldn't have to worry about Ernie wandering the cliffs, and I wouldn't have to worry about any of this.
The stroke of luck you have today is that he and his Miss Ward, they're not going to be eating here at the restaurant anymore because they're worried that someone's trying to poison them. So they're going to be taking their meals elsewhere, so they won't be here.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Do you believe me?
I do believe
not
you.
What he seems that he is.
Oh, absolutely! I knew that before we even talked, because I had seen him in London, and he's off, and I can't explain what it is. But we're investigating, and with any luck, we'll make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right. And she sort of, you better go. I'll
Right.
get told off if I see. And then she sort of freezes for a moment.
Yes.
Looks at you. He says, "Here's the gate and here's the key. The opener of ways. He is coming." Yeah, you better go.
Okay. All right. Well.
If you get
Thank
to
you.
see me talking to you here, then
Yeah.
I'll lose my job.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. I don't want that. So thank you for everything you've told me, and goodbye for now. Can I leave?
Meanwhile, the rest of you were heading round the corner to the cafe. Well, the other two of you, what remains of the rest of you, with Pendergast, who orders up breakfast for everyone. It's a while since I've been down here, but there was a local family I crossed paths with a few years ago. They are... Look, I know the first time we encountered each other, he looks to, like, Martin, I tried to, I don't know, brush off many of your concerns with what you might have seen, but I did say, at least I think, that there are things in this world that really go beyond human comprehension.
Like the unusual tentacles and eyes and things coming out of that portal.
But it goes more than that. There are people in this world that have dabbled with things they should not have dabbled with. There are things in this world that are not human, but look human and walk among us as if they were human. They might appear to the untrained eye to be people, but they are not. They are creatures born of... It feels not quite the right word to say, but born of dangerous magic. Pacts with things that should not have been dealt with. There was a family of such creatures dwelling along this coast. I may have made an enemy of them at some point in the past. They are dangerous. They worship dark gods. There's potential that one of them may have held a grudge against me. Blamed me for events that have occurred in the past. This were not my doing, may I point out. Like, I was not involved in that incident, but they may hold a grudge. Not...
Which incident?
There was an incident between the London Esoteric Society and members of this...
your organisation, yes.
Yes, this organisation. I mean, in recent years, we have crossed paths with them again. They call themselves the Cult of Dagon. They are troublesome.
So it's the Cult of Dagon.
And I believe maybe there are some of them here in this town, and maybe they are seeking to get rid of us if they've heard we're here.
Not doing a very good job of it.
No, in our first dealings with them, they were not very well organized or intelligent. We came across a number of them out in the East End of London, shacked up in a warehouse, trying to perform rituals. They had a very poor understanding of Latin. It was almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I understand a little bit of Latin myself, but I'm not much of a linguist.
I recommend those without inadequate language skills do not dabble with rituals of that sort. It always ends badly.
That looks like I'll have to study a bit more Latin. Not my favourite.
Yes, so it's potential. We might have to pay a visit to some local fishermen and ask some stern questions about whether they know anyone who might be trying to poison us.
Yeah, with him. I think with
Mr. Hargreaves, welcome. Join us.
I'm thinking it may be best to pretend we haven't noticed and keep ahead of them.
Yes, but I think it might be best once Miss Ward is feeling better. Her and I may remain at Albrook. I do not feel entirely safe at the hotel.
No, here.
Was it then a smart idea to leave her alone there?
Mr. Bloomsworth is back there.
Yeah, I checked on him. He's okay.
All right. I mean, he's been a bit passive.
And I did leave Miss Ward some protections that should prevent anyone from, well, if anyone tries to access her room, things will not go well for them, let's say that much.
So nobody needs
Did
to
you trap her room? How?
Would you believe me if I said magic?
Maybe, but the question
Then
of
let me
how
say
still
magic.
stands.
I understand many things. I do not like the word magic. It still feels wrong, but
Yeah, just because I don't understand it,
a few tricks, a few.
It is what it is.
Yes.
Alternative physics.
Perhaps one day we'll see it as science.
Yes, one could call it alternative physics. Applied esoterica. It comes in very useful from time to time.
So, this device, what do you see it doing in the future? What benefits do you see from this?
Well, I will admit, now it is just the three of us, I was doubtful about this endeavor. When when Albernathi and Miss Ward first brought me word of it, I honestly believed that it's something we should have put a stop to. And even after we went to see you, Mr. White, I was even more convinced that perhaps this should be the end of it. But when we spoke to Nordstrom and when Miss Ward was the one who put together that maybe this was more than just a device for creating endless energy, which is interesting, but honestly seems rather unnecessary to me. I still don't. I mean, electricity it's fine, but I don't know quite what all the fuss is about.
It's true. Personally, as well, from my viewpoint, from industry, I see the endless energy as a great perk. I'm not really interested in the time side of things. I don't understand that. It's the energy side of things that interests me, but I've got no plan to put a stop to what you're doing. I just don't understand it.
No, but
I mean, they're both interesting, right?
yes, interesting, and I am interested in it. I am willing to pursue this project further, though I would prefer Mr. Collins to be our chief engineer over Mr. Nordstrom. He seems altogether more.
But Nordstrom has a lot more experience than I do.
Yes, but you seem a lot more level-headed and reliable. But I do defer to Nordstrom on the experience side of things, yes.
I think for me to be able to do something like that, I would need to understand the applied esoterica parts of the whole thing,
I see.
which I really don't yet, at least. So if you were willing to teach me those things, then that's a possibility, yeah.
Some I want for a persuasion roll of you here, Avery.
Oh God, me persuading people.
Is there any way I could assist?
Yeah. If you're also like putting forward a case of it would be useful for Avery to
Would
know
I-
this.
Would I do roll persuade as well, or
I'm gonna say this would be a bonus dice, so essentially a reroll for Avery.
okay? There you go.
You know what? I'm giving you the 10 points of luck. Boom.
Okay. Well, I suppose there are two possibilities. You don't know what you're doing, and it either blows up, or worse, we have a repeat of that first incident. I do not wish to have any doors opened to any
I think
dark
we're in
recesses of
agreement.
this universe.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, perhaps a study of...
Hmm.
If I translate some parts of Vagens of Nara for you. Unless... I still don't understand how you'd have never learned Swedish.
I mean, he talks in English to me. The stuff I learned in school was English, and Swedish is. I mean, I
I'm
looked at
sorry,
the.
it's the English are completely incapable of learning other languages. It's truly baffling.
So this doorway, from what you know, do you know where the doorway opened up to? You said it's like
I don't know for certain. I have suspicions that I do not wish to give voice to, because sometimes
If you're
voicing
wrong.
something makes the fear of it worse. I have some more reading to do before I can be sure of what exactly.
I was hoping
that
to
might
look
have
into it a
been.
bit myself. Unfortunately, I'm not that much. I'm not a very bookish person, I'll say.
What are you good at, Mr. Wyatt?
I have a broad range of interests. I haven't specialised. I'm a jack of all trades, you could say. A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
A hobbyist.
Something like that. Everything. Everything interests me.
There may be something we can do with you. But yes, I may have to take a... Well, there's no decent library, unfortunately, here in... It's for any use. I may have to call back to the society if I get Collinwood to bring us down some more books.
Would it be possible just to pay someone to do a copy of that book in English?
I do not wish copies circulating out there.
And everyone will be able to read it.
No, that is... No.
So,
We do not want more copies of this book circulating around.
Why not?
it's just a book at the end of the day.
There's knowledge of this kind is dangerous. The more people that know, the more dangerous it is.
So it's easily abusable?
Yes.
Ah. So as long as it's in Swedish, there's not many Swedish people who can accidentally find this book.
Well, that too, but yes, books should be kept under careful eye. But yes, I will phone up to London. I will get Collinwood to come down here with some more books I think might be relevant.
That
I
sounds
was
like
hoping
fun.
we could resolve this matter without involving him, but it seems that is not to be. Our last encounter with the unusual left him somewhat more rattled than usual.
Do not sure if I'll be much assistance in this.
Well, you are,
I
of
have to
course,
return.
under no obligation to stay.
I have to just return to London to take care of my usual business matters. We shall see.
We'll see. You are not.
We're practically neighbours, anyhow.
Yes, we are. Well, as I said, Miss Ward, will probably head on up to Albrook when she's well enough. I will phone for Collinwood for more books. Mr. Collins, do you care to accompany us up to Albrook this afternoon?
Oh, sure. Why not?
And work can begin on, Miss Ward seemed a little paranoid that you might have done something to the machine. Answer me honestly, gentlemen. Is that true, or is she just being paranoid?
Well, she's been paranoid, but it may have been true. But that's
well, we will
why...
endeavour to rectify that before we do anything else. As I have mentioned, we do not want to blow anything up or tear any holes in the universe.
Well, I left the copies, well, the drawings at the reception for Miss Ward to pick up as she wakes up. But yes, it should be easy enough to rectify.
Should be indeed. Right, well, anyhow, what was I saying?
I think it was...
Yes.
That was a nice...
I have much work to do. You may or may not be of any use in this endeavour, but...
I wish you well.
Yes, and just try not to antagonise Miss Ward's thrall again. Like,
What? Who is he? Who is or what is Dave? He doesn't seem that talkative.
I don't think much of his mind remains to be talkative. He works for Miss Ward.
What exactly does he do for her?
Mostly carries things.
Oh.
I do not know what manner of trick. Or, as I said, I have my tricks. Miss Ward has her own. We have different specialities. She, as you have experienced firsthand, Mr. White, is quite adept with matters of the human mind.
Must be the woman's
Do not
touch.
bother with that. Now, gentlemen, I will see you again this afternoon if you care to join us.
Sounds a
He downs
possibility.
the rest of his coffee and heads back towards the hotel.
Coffee, okay? Oh, that's right. We're not at the hotel
You're
anymore.
not at the
So yes,
hotel now.
it's safe. It's
It's
safe.
unpoisoned
Well,
coffee.
I mean, the one at the hotel smelled fine too, but you know.
Well,
Yeah. What are you gentlemen playing next? Do you have immediate plans?
Well,
Or
I was
things you
planning
wish to
to
discuss?
tell at least Martin if he was still around after they left to go to Holbrook.
Well, so essentially what Pendergast was saying is he's going to go see to Miss Ward, and they're planning to head up to Albrook this afternoon.
Okay.
And they're happy to take any of you who wish to go with them up this afternoon. So until then, your plans are your own.
He's not with us at the moment, though.
No, he has left. It's just the three of you in the cafe.
Martin. He is a lying liar who is lying.
yes.
I've found out some more information. He's when he says he's not involved with that family that you're talking about. He is very much, and I suspect. Now I don't have anything to back it up at the moment, but I think the family members that he's catching and murdering, he removes their hearts. May have something to do.
That's a very un-British thing to do.
It is. But it may have to do with his countenance that never seems to change.
Ah.
She remembered seeing him even as a very little girl. He hasn't changed a bit.
Was it you who noticed something about his age not being right? His eyes or something?
His eyes. But I couldn't put a finger exactly on what it was.
They do say eyes are the windows to the soul. So he is involved. He has, if he's removing their hearts, I'm assuming they're not alive anymore. So that means
No.
he's killing people.
Yes.
Members of her family, or
Yes. Now, her family has a unique lineage. At some point in the past, there was a, let's say, a bride that produced a child.
that usually happens.
Not entirely human. A mixed race, hybrid.
Oh,
But half human, half fish people or something?
that seems a bit unusual.
It is.
Would explain things like webbed toes or webbed fingers.
But wouldn't that mean that they're all like hybrids? And then how do you get a family like this?
We didn't have time to go into it.
Oh,
She was
okay.
The matter. It seems they're both doing their own things here.
Mhm.
I don't think either of them are up to any good. You mentioned the chanting as well, Miss Ward.
Mhm.
So does it seem they're completely at different odds, or
Well, they have apparently it looks like a combined goal of getting this machine to work. Now they have different ends for it, but they are collaborating to get the machine to work.
In the moment the machine works, well, I guess that's when the argument starts, right?
Right.
So you have basically a functioning thing that can create a lot of problems and two people arguing about how to use it. So we can go there and be a third person that argues about it.
well, I'm torn with what I wish to do. Part of me wishes to go back to London, find out what I can about everything that's going on here, speak to Collingwood and find out a bit more.
Well, I thought it was a stroke of luck. They were going to bring him down here.
That's true.
Well, I'm thinking if I can just, let him teach me. If I understand more, then I can probably get a better assessment on how problematic what he's trying to do is.
He could teach
Actually,
you, and you could teach us.
I mean, I'm not going to promise that right now, because somehow Miss Ward seems to know when shit's awry, so I'm just not gonna. Because this is, she was, I mean, maybe she's just paranoid, but
Probably.
she knew when you were coming up already, the stairs,
Well, we weren't quiet.
She knew
Could he?
when you started walking up the stairs, way before you could be heard. And she knew, or at least, I'm not sure she knew, but she was paranoid that you had fumbled with the machine, and then you said you did?
Well, there's that servant of hers who was there as well.
Yeah, fair, okay.
Unless there's something weird going on with minds and...
we know that she can do mind shit.
Exactly, so...
Do you think she can...
Like that.
She can see through his eyes? Could he have seen, or could she have seen us messing with the machine?
Maybe.
Well, wouldn't it be the strangest thing we've seen recently or heard?
No, she's got like these oracle stuff things. One of those jokes, stunts things. Like Oracle of Delphi, I don't know. Just being able to perceive things that you shouldn't, or whatever.
It may be a good idea to pop up at the afternoon anyway to Albrook and see what's going on there. At least if something starts to go wrong, we can prevent it. At least if we're there, we're more likely to be seen to be supporting them. But my concern is everyone else's safety. I don't want whatever that thing was coming through that portal.
I mean, yeah, if this... Did
If it
you
goes
say you
wrong-
know what this is?
Sorry?
Oops. When we already saying we think this is this portal lord thing?
It could be. That's what we need to
Mhm.
find out a bit more. Perhaps, actually, Mr. Hargreaves, I wonder if we could get a copy of that book. I wonder if Collingwood's books are in one of the stores here, whether we could have a look around. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Have a look around the bookstores and see if we could find the same book that you've remembered something from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice beach read. I'm sure that it'll be in the shops.
So we could have a look around beforehand and try and do some light reading. And then maybe head up that way.
Okay, so you want to go book shopping, gather some resources, and then. So is your plan then to head up to Albrook rather than returning to London?
Yeah, I think it's looking that way.
Okay. Well, so I want you to give me. So, who's going on this book hunt looking for one of Collingwood's?
I will.
Okay, I'd like a group look roll for the group going on the book hunt. So whichever of you's got the lowest look, because Call of Cthulhu is an evil system designed by evil people, to give me a look roll and see how. Yeah, this is where I was seeing whether Avery was coming with you or not. Here's the weakest link, I believe, usually with luck.
I'm at 51.
I'm at 54.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll go.
51 rolls. Let's see. Yes, searching around the bookshops of Brighton, you do in fact find a copy of the Case of the Cursed Amulet.
There it
There's
is.
definitely an exclamation mark at the end of that title.
Just the one or two?
Just the one copy. You also see.
Oh, I mean
the
exclamation marks.
Oh,
Well, let's not get too excited here. Just the one. Just the one exclamation mark.
Yes.
You also see several of other Collingwood's books down. There's I really need to come up with a list of really good, terrible pulp names like
We'll
The Mystery of the Missing Bride.
probably grab a couple of them.
Yeah.
We'll probably get a selection.
Yeah. So you got the Case of the Cursed Amulet, The Mystery of the Missing Bride.
We'll come up with some
The
more.
Horror
Then.
in the Depths.
seems to be a theme here.
But, well, at least we've got this to have a look through.
Lady Fantingale's Nightmare. There we go. those are the four you've got. Yeah, as you browse through, you can see, as you have come to suspect, Collingwood is not necessarily a good writer, but he puts it all into these.
He
They've
is
got
assuredly
everything-
not a good writer.
Everything you can think of, he has thrown on this page. There is cliff-top horseback races. There is
I've got
an unusual number of secret twins. Every book
that's
has at
just
least one
fine.
evil cult. Lady Fontainebleau discovers that her husband in fact faked his death and ran off with a cult, and now he has returned with her twin sister, who he thought was her because her twin sister was also in a cult, but was possessed by the ghost of her grandmother.
It's all interesting. Very strange.
Yes.
So at least we've got some reading to do.
But as you're flipping through, in between like the bad writing and the melodrama, and there are little seeds of things that stir in your mind. And you figure that maybe a deeper reading this might glean some clues in the prose, because there's mention of the description and the drawing of the sigils on the amulet matches the ones that Lucy had scribbled on the blueprints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Horror in the Depths speaks of underwater temples and dark rituals.
Is Dagon mentioned in anything?
Not by name, but there's mention of dark gods of the waters. And okay, you can't find anything yet that really, in the Mystery of the Missing Bride, or and Lady Fothergill's Nightmare, just the plot just goes off the rails in the third act. Like a character pops up, like Lord Henry, who you swear was not mentioned in the first half of the book. Like, he just turns up in one scene and everyone just acts so he's been involved the entire time.
So, anything about this gate or Lord of the Gate or something like that?
I am going to say roll me a D100. You're rolling against the mythos rating of the collective Collinwood works that you have gathered here. No, they are not that informative on the matter of the Lord of the Gate.
Oh, well.
But you figure with enough time reading them, you might be able to piece together some
Little bits of
some clues about what kind of things the society has encountered once Collinwood has been a member, and also just what's going on in that brain of his.
Yeah.
But yes,
So we'll have to purchase the rest of his collection at some point.
as the morning winds to its end, a still rather peaky-looking Miss Ward and Pendergast descend down to the lobby of the hotel, ready to head up to Albrook. And Pendergast says as he comes down, he says, I have called Collinwood. He is on his way with as much of the library as he can pack into suitcases. He will join us up at Albrook. Either tomorrow morning or this evening, depending on which train he manages to catch. Yes, I apologise for not joining you gentlemen at breakfast.
No worries.
I was informed we had in fact been poisoned.
We
Quite shocked.
weren't particularly well ourselves. We had for a moment suspected it would have been of one of yourselves that had done it to us, but I think you probably suspected the same of us.
No, the thought did not cross my mind. I mean, I thought we'd got over our little disagreement. I didn't really think you'd stoop so low as to poison me, Martin.
No. Poison's more a woman's thing.
Oh, darling, if I needed to poison you, no, darling, if I needed to kill you, I would not poison you.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me.
Very well. To Albert, shall we?
On this note, why not?
And then on stage whisper, she'll probably just cook your brain.
But yeah, as you head down, as you head off in the car up towards Albrook Sanatorium, that is probably where we're going to leave things off for today.